Welcome to the Emerging Professional Series at the Coffee Conversation Show, powered by the Emerging India Forum TIF and our tech partner, Prime Infotech Solution. Theme is M&A strategy and making an impact, the mind behind mergers. We have with us Rohit Himatsingka, founder RVAI Global Private Limited. Mergers and acquisition are often seen as high-stakes corporate chess moves, requiring sharp instincts, financial expertise, and strategic foresight. Few professionals navigate this world as seamlessly as Rohit has done over 23 years, spanning strategy, investments, monetization, turnarounds, structuring, and finance. He has played a pivotal role in shaping multi-million-dollar deals across industries. Now, he has transitioned from his current corporate role as Senior VP M&A at Blackbox to his independent advisory role, founder at RVAI Global Private Limited. But what goes on behind the scenes of these high impact decisions? What drives him as a leader, investor, and strategist? And beyond the boardroom, how does he balance the pressures of deal making with personal passions? Join us for an engaging conversation where we uncover Rohit's insights on the future of M&A, leadership, and the ever evolving corporate landscape, along with a peek into his life beyond the spreadsheets and negotiations. So, friends, we are at AWFS co working space, and tomorrow is Ram Navami. So, we wish all our viewers out there happy Ram Navami. And this episode is also special as this is 5th anniversary of the Coffee Conversation Show. So, welcome, Rohit, to both celebrations tomorrow, Ram Navami, and being part of the 5th anniversary.
Yeah. Thank you, Ahmed. Thank you for that lovely introduction. I'm not used to such elaborate introductions. Having said that, wishing the viewers a very happy Ram Navami, and also congratulations to the team here for their 5th anniversary. Let's get started.
Okay. So let me explain you the flow and the format, Rohit. There are 3 rounds: professional journey round, personal journey round, and a surprise, the rapid fire round. So for which you have to be witty, fun, and quick, and you will get your gift also. Startup, revisit, reset, revisit, and relaunch. Since you are working with M&A, so hopeful this will be a guiding, but your insights will add the value. And by the way, I know you will win it, and I've autographed it.
Thank you.
So, friends, I'm Lion Amir Virani, host at Coffee Conversation and a legal tech evangelist at Prime Infotech Solution, author of 15 books. We help law firms, corporate legal, startups, SMEs with world-class technology, software licensing, and tech training solutions. So, my first question, Rohit, how has the journey shaped up, and any key defining moments you had?
Well, I would say I'm not a very planned person. So what has happened is the journey which has shaped up for me has happened with transactions coming to me on a regular basis. I've been open to accepting ideas which have been coming to me. I've been open to doing different things, and that is how the journey has kind of moved up. I kind of belong to a very small state. Belong to a family which where meeting ends was a little difficult at certain points of time. From there, the motivation was very clear. I have to learn more and more, engage more and more, and grow more and more. So from there to where I am, the journey has been quite promising, interesting, and I would say I've learned quite a bit. So it's been an interesting journey.
Wow. So let's go deep into the conversation. Mergers and acquisitions can be game changers for companies. What's the most common mistake businesses make when approaching an M&A deal?
So see, M&A, as you rightly mentioned, can be game changing. What normally we do is, while acquiring a company, in the rush of acquiring companies, we forget about a lot of factors which could influence our decision with regards to those acquisitions. Number two, the biggest aspect comes post the M&A, which is integration, the culture, and getting the leadership which you're buying fully onboarded. We forget about that, and we generally lax a little bit when the M&A is over. And lastly, the documentation piece of it. which is the most boring aspect of an M&A, but the most critical aspect of M&A. You have to be mindful that everything which is going in there may not come up at the time of closing, but may come up 3 years, 4 years, or even 8 years down the line. So you have to be mindful, thorough, and fully baked in with regards to what you are signing, what is the understanding, and everything has to be documented. So I think the common mistake which companies do is they don't factor these factors, which is documenting the right documents or right understanding. Second is planning the right integration, and post the M&A, getting the team welcomed in the new organization, and that is where the disconnect kind of starts.
Beautiful. So let's go to the next question. How do you approach crisis situation during a deal, be it regulatory hurdles, financial setbacks, or cultural mismatches between merging entities?
So I have always believed, in fact, I have learned it from my superiors, that every time you're looking at a transaction, think of getting into the shoes of the person who is selling. So I always put myself in the shoes of the guy who is selling the company. You covered regulatory hurdles. See, regulatory hurdles will be there, but if it is logical, you have to go to the regulatory guys and explain him what is the rationale of the transaction. I'll give an example. We were acquiring a company in Australia just during COVID, and they had come up with specific laws with regards to approval. And the lawyers told us it will take 6 months for us to get the approval. We insisted that we wanted faster. We went to the regulatory authority, explained to them the rationale of acquisition, and we were at it. It took us 1 month, as in, to be honest, 45 days to be precise, and we got the approval, which is one of the fastest approval given in Australia with regards to a transaction like this. So coming back to your question, it has to be understanding the person on the other side. I'm not in it to shortchange or take advantage of somebody. If I explain it to them and if it is rational, people understand and things are taken care of.
Oh, beautiful. So, Rohit, how do you balance financial prudence with taking calculated risk in M&A decisions? Can you share an instance where you had to make a bold move?
Well, I'm a finance guy, so finance for me is prime for as compared to anything else. Everything which I take or decisions which I take, the financial acumen or benefit is paramount. That is the most important aspect. I would say the boldest move which has happened is I've taken some crazy decisions when it comes to M&A. When I say crazy, it has been convincing the parties on the other side on structures, on transactions, which generally people can't even fathom. Considering that I'm under confidentiality in a lot of those situations, I will leave it at that. That certain transactions, we got the payout extended over a period of time without there being any earnout, without there being any restrictions. It was just that we didn't have the money to pay. So as they always say, it is very good to acquire companies when you have money. We acquired companies when we didn't have money and still acquired it. So I would say that was the boldest decisions which we took. And well, it turned out well. So that is why it can be called success. And that is why we enjoy being successful.
Beautiful. So, Rohit, having worked across strategy, M&A, finance, and corporate planning, what's the most exhilarating deal you have worked on and what made it so memorable?
So this was my first transaction actually. It was, I would say, with regards to M&A, it was my first fundraise for one of the leading private banks in India, without naming them. I still remember my CFO called me to his cabin and he said, "Rohit, are you planning a holiday?" And before I could say anything, he said, "If you are, please cancel it." I said, "Okay, great. Well, what do you want me to do?" He said, "We are going to do a fundraise and it is most likely going to be a QIP." And I was looking at him. I was 24 years old, fresh into acquisitions and investments. I said, "What the hell is QIP?" And I was thinking of it in my mind. And what is a QIP? He said, "Okay, you've got to get started on preparing the document, launching it, etc., etc." I came out of the room, Googled, figured out what a QIP was, worked on the document. It took us 2 months flat, day and nights, and actually concluded the transaction and raised one of the largest quantum of money in those days. So I would say that was one of the most memorable transaction because it pushed me to the limits. It pushed me to newer areas which I had no idea about, but at the same time, got me to work with a team, a fabulous team, and gave me a learning which I can never forget.
Wow, beautiful. So, Rohit, in your experience, what are the key differences between handling M&A in India versus international markets?
Um, I think the biggest difference is culture. When we are so used to dealing with people in India that we understand how do they operate, or how do they discuss, how do they talk, what is their negotiation practice. M&A, as much as M&A is about understanding the company, it is equally about negotiating with the selling party. In when we are restricted, or I would say restricted is the wrong word, when we have experience around dealing with only Indian promoters or Indian selling parties, the biggest challenge which comes is when you are dealing with people who are from other countries. I'll give you an example. I was buying a company in New Zealand. I went and met the entrepreneur in Auckland. The guy was so cold, so relaxed. I was unable to understand how to crack a deal with him because he was not budging. He was so relaxed. He was not concerned at all. I had to follow his path and be cold with regards to the transaction and show him that I was not at all interested in the transaction. Is when he came onto the table and started discussing it with him. So I would say the biggest aspect when you're dealing with international clients or international companies or international people is understanding their culture.
Wow, beautiful. Okay. So, Rohit, how is AI and technology impacting M&A deals and negotiations?
It is just the tip of the iceberg right now. It's just getting started. But it is only going to make the life of M&A guys easy. When I say easy, I mean a lot of softer aspects will be taken care of. A lot of activities which take away a lot of our time will be taken care of. And even for that matter, the biggest aspect which I've covered in the first question was documentation. A larger aspect of the documentation piece will also be taken care of. So I think structuring, uh, identifying targets, filtering of all of that can be taken care of. So we should embrace technology and, for that matter, AI in M&A because it is only going to make our life easy. But again, as I said, M&A is all about negotiation. I don't want to put AI on negotiation on an M&A transaction because I am still not comfortable with that piece, at least so far.
Wow, we can understand. Okay. So, Rohit, who was influenced you, or who do you follow from the M&A world?
Um, well, I won't say I follow somebody specific from the M&A world. I have had the liberty of working under Mr. Anshuman Ruya, one of the founders at SR, for 15 and a half years. He has given me guidance with regards to the entire finance world, different structures. He has taught me only one thing: try crazy structures. And that is what I've been trying. I would give him the credit of giving me a lot of guidance with regards to finance industry and M&A.
Wow. So, how has the leadership style evolved over the years?
Uh, from being an abrasive transaction goer and closing the transaction immediately, being a hard taskmaster, not necessarily understanding his team, zero patience, to I would say I'm a changed man now. Not necessarily there. I'm not perfectionist as yet, but I would say a lot of patience has come in, a lot of time frame, understanding the team, working with the team. Um, I have hopefully become a better leader as compared to what I was few years ago. And a lot of people and a lot of things have helped, including I would give a big credit or a shout out to INSEAD, which kind of helped me in curate myself as a better leader.
Wow. So, I'm a little curious. Uh, uh, what made you to transition from the corporate world to having your own setup and the name behind RVA Global?
Well, I can tell you about the name. RVAI is nothing but Rohit and Vijay, so the partners in crime, and AI is the buzzword. So we are trying to create something in AI, and the reason why we did global, because we don't want to restrict ourselves to India. We want to go global, and we want to play a global game. We are going to cater to the entire AI services end to end. So we want to provide people AI resources to AI as a service, to kind of getting companies ready to adapt to AI, and then on top of it, the agentic AI. So we want to cover the entire piece of AI. We're just getting started. It is still early days. So wait for a couple of weeks for the official announcement to come.
Wow. Okay. So, my last question: what advice would you give to young professionals who want to venture into M&A and strategy roles but don't come from traditional finance background?
Uh, Few things, I would say: be genuine. When I say be genuine, be yourself when you're discussing a transaction. Secondly, don't be restricted on structures, what have been done in the past. I always say this: every M&A deal is a new book on how structures are written. So don't restrict yourself with regards to what has been done in the past. Be creative, be open to listening to ideas, thinking about ideas, working on structures. And it's not that difficult, honestly. Once you are in it, you are in it. And just write a new book of yourself, as simple as that.
Wow. So, let's go to the next round and understand Rohit as a person. Tell us about a family and your formative years.
So I actually come from a very small town. I don't know, a lot of people might not have even heard of it. It's called Dumka. That is where I was born and brought up. It's a place in Jharkhand now. When I was born, it was in Bihar. I did my initial schooling in Ranchi in a hostel, because Dumka didn't have very good schools. So post Ranchi, moved to Calcutta. Always a finance guy, always loved finance because I come from a Marwari background. So did my chartered accountancy, and then recently completed my MBA at INSEAD. And recently means 2019. Did my MBA at INSEAD. Well, we were a okay family, lower middle class, doing okay. Everybody was struggling to meet their needs. So from there, understanding the value with regards to everything, value with regards to money, value with regards to how you treat people, value with regards to your general upbringing, that has been the core with regards to how I was brought up. Loyalty to us makes a lot of difference. That is why the organization which I was in, I kind of spent more than 15 years there. So we work on emotions, people. That's been the upbringing primarily.
Wow. So, Rohit, your work is all about high pressure deals and big decisions. What's something completely unrelated to finance that helps you de stress?
Well, I love to run. So I whenever I think I'm too stressed, I go for a long run, and it has to be a long run for me to de-stress myself. And the longer the run, the more it eases me out. Before any big transaction or before taking any big decision, I generally prefer to go for a long run.
Wow. Is there a personal passion or hobby you have always wanted to pursue but never got the time for?
Well, I my first love was to become a cook. Well, everybody at my home will laugh at it. I never pursued it. And second was to learn an instrument. I still have a diploma which says I can teach students till grade 12 harmonium. Not that I remember anything of it. But these are two passions. Given a choice, I will want to pursue. One is get into cooking, and second is to get into a musical instrument.
Wow. So, Rohit, they say finance professionals have an eye for spotting opportunities. What's the best investment you have made in your personal life? It could be a habit, skill, or even a purchase.
So I would say investments per se, I would rate three of my investments. One, the first investment which I did was to get married. You can call it an investment. My wife Namita has been a strong support in everything which I'm doing. The biggest step of my life to move out and start something on my own. She has been the strongest pillar to stand beside me. The second was actually to take the time to invest in the company where I worked for 15 years, SR, where I got the opportunity to work with Mr. Ruya, Anshuman Ruya. He has been a guiding light to me forever. And third was actually investing in INSEAD in 2018-19. It was a big investment, which is where I met my co-founder Vijay, and INSEAD gave me or pushed me to get into entrepreneurship. I would say these were the three bigger investments which I would rate as my best investments.
Wow, beautiful. So, Rohit, what's a misconception people have about M&A professionals that you would love to debunk?
Well, we are not always sleek. We are not man eaters. We come in, we are as human as anybody else. It's just that we generally don't show our softer side. We like to have the upper hand on negotiation, but we are humans at the end of it. Just give us some space, give us some warmth, and we will open up.
Wow. So, what's one book or movie that has impacted you in your personal or professional life?
I like this book quite a bit called Shoe Dog, which was on Nike. And I would say it gave me a different perspective of how a company like Nike was built. And more than that, it gave me a lot of motivation to go and achieve something which you have thought of achieving. Nothing is unachievable. It is just that continuous effort is required to go, and you have to be persistent and have patience. Once you do that, success is there waiting somewhere. Don't worry.
Wow. So, Rohit, suppose you had 1 week away from doing M&A deals, no gadgets. What would you like to do?
I'll prefer to travel to cities or even countries for that matter. Go to smaller towns in those cities or countries and have their local food. I'm a big foodie, although vegetarian, but I go anywhere and everywhere and have the vegetarian food. So that is something which I'll certainly want to do.
Wow. So, suppose that week is coming in 2025. Which city would you like to visit?
Well, I recently went to a city called Fateh in Turkey. We were there for a few days. Given a choice, I will want to go back again to that place for a few things. One was the weather, it was amazing. There are a lot of activities to do, and I love Middle Eastern food. So, combining all these three, I would say I'll prefer to go there and spend some time there.
Wow. So, Rohit, you have worked or visited many cities around the world. Which one is your favorite if you had the liberty to shift or live? And
Well,
why?
I'm not sure I'll shift there, but if you ask me, one of the cities which actually stood out to me was Washington. I have been to few cities in US. I loved Washington. I loved the way it is built. I loved the vibe. I don't know, I developed an affinity towards the city. Will I want to shift there? Well, no, but I still love it.
Wow. Okay. So, who has been or is your biggest cheerleader from your family and friends?
Well, I have a very close knit of friends. They are all beside me, cheering me in every decision which I take. And I'm very grateful to all of them for being there. And along with that, my family, my wife, my father, my mother, my son, they are always there supporting me, guiding me on everything which I do. I don't want to take any specific name. I think my brother, my sister, everybody is there. They are always supporting in everything which I do. So I think I'm lucky to have all of them beside me actually.
Wow. So, what are your plans for 2025 personally and professionally you'd like to achieve?
Well, I've just got started. So just wait for me. Hopefully, we will have another coffee session soon, and you will hear a lot more about what I've achieved. God has been kind, and I'm sure He'll be kind in the future as well. We are looking to create something, and we are very passionate about what we are trying to create. So for 2025 and 26, we are looking to path our new journey, create a new company, and make it a successful one. So that's what I want to achieve in these 2 years.
Wow. So, my last one is a reflect a googly. Describe Rohit in one line.
Uh, that's a difficult one, but I generally say perfection is overrated. I'm imperfect.
Wow. Let's have some fun. The rapid fire round. Early mornings or late nights when you're most productive?
Early mornings.
One book that every financial professional should read.
Don't read anything.
Wow. Okay. If you could work on an M&A deal for any company in the world, which one would it be?
Well, I don't mind working on mine. I'm working on one for my company. I want to hopefully buy that and create a bigger company for myself. But given a choice, I would want to work on a completely different field of what I've worked so far. So maybe, I don't know, maybe a park, a theme park based company, because I don't understand it at all. So it will give me a good learning with regards to that sector.
Your go-to comfort food?
Well, Marwadi, bhujia, always go to bhujia or samosas.
Wow. Your favorite color?
Red. Rohit means red, so I'm always following my name.
RR. Okay. Best piece of advice received?
Try to think of others while you're thinking of yourself.
Wow. Favorite cuisine from your hometown?
Well, because I was born and brought up in Bihar, I love the local food there, which is litti chokha. So I just adore it.
I too. There are few places in Mumbai where you can
Yes.
have it as a street food,
Correct.
like near Santa Cruz, and near my home also. Someone in this dockyard station in Inner Lanes. He's from Bihar, so he does it.
I'll take the addresses from you.
So wherever I see something, buy something unique or new dish, so I'm a foodie, like to explore. Okay. Your favorite movie?
I don't know. I've not seen too many recently, but there was one which stood out was Dead Poets Society. It is, well, to some extent, the English version of Mohabbatein. But you should see that before you see Mohabbatein. It's different.
Okay. Tea or coffee to recharge?
Yeah. Sorry?
Tea or coffee to recharge?
Any day. I don't drink tea. I'm a coffee person completely. And cappuccino for me.
Okay.
Always.
So you did well, and here's your book.
Thank you.
And yes, I've autograph also. I know you would. So friends, it was a lovely conversation with Rohit, understanding the M&A strategy and making an impact in this high stakes corporate world where he has navigated it, and now in his new venture, he will be, what do you say, be the change maker. We wish him all the best. So this is what our coffee speakers bring to the table. So all those young professionals who want to enter the M&A world, watch this episode, be from the legal, from the finance, or all those startup founders also, all those from apna investors, from apna VCs. Watch this episode. You can collaborate with Rohit. His details will be there in the YouTube captions. So like that, there are 400 plus coffee speakers, and watch those episodes, get inspired, implement those learnings in your life. And if you want to be featured like Rohit, visit our LinkedIn page, the Emerging Day Forum, our website, and we would like to invite you to have coffee conversations. Thank you.